are you two scheming? What? What? What do you want from me? Hmm? What? What do you want from me? What are you doing? What? What are you talking? What? And so the vote is in. I asked you guys, and you delivered. Gonna pull the motor on this to put a $20 part in it. I don't intend to like go all over this thing. It's not worth that much money. I can put maybe a rear main seal in it and the timing belt kit, but if I look in there and that timing belt is like brand new, or I can tell that it's not old, I'm not going all over it like that. This thing's, it's high mileage, it's not worth that much. Our title, it's gonna be a cheap vehicle, so I can't really go all over it. And then everything I got for it to fix it is very cheap, like the hatch and all the other parts and stuff. But I did get the metal oil separator plate. It's inside the car, right there. I can't tell if it has a metal one on it by looking up in there because it's so caked in oil and grease. I can't even see it. But I started taking the headlight apart for the M45. All I did was take all the screws that held the lens on. There's a bunch of like dirt and debris inside this headlight. It almost looks like fiberglass strands inside it. But there's a lot of stuff inside here. And not to mention the inside of the lens is dirty, and I polished this and got nowhere. So that's why I'm taking this apart. I am going to heat it in the oven. I'm a little a little worried about heating it up in the oven because this is a very expensive headlight with a lot of expensive components that I can't really take out. So, but we're gonna do it. So, hopefully, here's all the screws that held it on. This is like a bracket that was up in the corner here that covered a screw, so I had to take this off. And then there's one here, one in this corner, and like I said, where I took that bracket off, there was a screw up through over here. So I will be doing that here in a little bit, but I got to run these parts out to Jerry's, so let's load them up in the truck and hit the road. So of course I just had the fenders sitting on there and the bumper just sitting there and everything, but it looks that everything lines up pretty decent. I might have to do a little bit of tweaking, but it's all within say 1/8 of an inch. It's pretty close. So once he gets his parts painted, we'll get it back to the house and we'll start tearing into it. I don't know, he has a bunch of work out there right now, so I don't know how long it's going to take him to paint the parts, but yeah, everything's looking good. I couldn't really fit the bumper up because there's more that has to bolt on to the front of there to support the bumper. So I didn't have any of that stuff with me, so I just set it in front of it. Stewie, we slacked off and did not get any work done on that Subaru. I know. I'm gonna have to go work on it. What are you? A bunny rabbit? Ow. That's right, I came back from Jerry's. Got my video edited, and then I didn't do jack squat. It's almost 9 o'clock. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to the gym because I haven't done that yet, and then we're gonna pull a late one, and I'm gonna start the Subaru suspension. So stay tuned. All right, bros, let's do it. No, it's not really that exciting. Okay, so the only thing we have to worry about is this car falling on my head. Okay, we're on the blocks really good. Okay, these are definitely adjustable to adjust your toe in and out on the back. So, gotta disconnect our sway bar links. I know the lighting sucks. We're gonna disconnect our sway bar links here. I'm surprised they held up. They're just like a plastic, and we'll mark all this stuff. No, this isn't bad. It was harder at Johnny's because I didn't have access to everything. Here, it's like it's there. I have the motor out. I probably will do the oil pan gasket since I got one. It was cheap, and since I thought that's what the leak was, I might as well just go ahead and do it while I have it out because that'll be simple. Here is a bunch of new parts. Let's get these out. Alright, so now looking at these, which set of arms do you think was more money? I'll give you a second. Okay, so on Rock Auto, the straight ones, right there, that don't have the extra bracketry on them, they were $30 some. They were $30 some. I think it was like $33 to $35 a piece for those. These were $17 a piece. These ones. Why? There's more to these ones than there is those ones. But that's how it is. So, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing I'm worried about is losing my alignment, but let's go ahead and pop the wheels off. I probably will use that support stand there to put underneath the suspension so it doesn't go anywhere, and I can go ahead and pull these off. We'll do them one at a time. I think that'll be our... Well, you can't. There's one bolt that goes through the whole thing, so you can't do them one at a time. You gotta do them both. So, whatever, let's do it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
while fighting that eccentric bolt, trying to get it out, I wore my paint mark off. So there was no mark on there where to line it up. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to take this thing to get in alignment whenever I'm all done with it, which sucks. I didn't want to have to do that. That's extra money that I had to dump into this thing. I was trying to save it, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Unless it tracks straight, but still, that's not right. I should just take it and get it done. But those arms look way better. They're much more in the straighter factor. But so there is a mark on the back washer. There was. I got so many marks on it now I can't even tell. So I'm more than likely out, not in the right spot. So it sucks. But that bolt was stuck, and I'm guarantee I'm gonna have the same problem with this one. Maybe I'll put a second mark on this one, but I don't think I'm gonna get into this today. Or maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I need to go to bed. I have to work tomorrow, but definitely looks a lot better. Although one thing I do like, look at this rotor. It does have surface rust on it. That's a new rotor, and the brake pads, I don't know if you can see in there, have lots of pad left. So it does have new brakes on the back, which is a good thing. The shocks don't look too old. You can see my lift blocks. That's how I lifted it. Don't knock it till you've tried it. Look who's back! Well, yes! Look who's back! She's jet lagged. Look, he's tired too.
Oh, he's poopy.
Oh. Well, first I gotta tighten this thing up for my wife. Oh! Oh, behave. Oh! We're putting the roof rack on the Kia. These are the ones I got. They're obviously used. But to put the crossbars in, I need to take the end caps off, and there's just a Phillips head screw on the bottom. And then on top, these are the plastic caps. These need to come off so that we can access the two 10mm bolts that bolt it down to the roof. There's studs that stick up out of the roof, and there's 10mm nuts. Hold it on. That's all it is. It's pretty simple. I'm not sure if I want to do this yet or not, but these are the same wheel pattern as what my Veloster was, the lug pattern. And I have a set of wheel spacers that will fit this, which will make it very aggressive, which would mean I'd probably have to cut the fenders after I put the flares on. And I don't know if I want to go that route yet. Well, we'll see. But the option is there. I just now thought about it. I'm like, well, this is the same pattern. So definitely they would work. They're about yay thick. Yeah, they're pretty. I think they're 3/4 of an inch thick. That would really really make this thing look aggressive. But I don't know if it would pass the Untitled inspection if I did that. So that's a hit or miss. All right, I had to get ready for work, but that made this a lot less aggressive. As you can see, it's pretty much flush with the side of the vehicle. Now the fronts still stick out a little bit, but the flares I'm going to have problems with on the back. I'm thinking I'm going to have to, we definitely got to trim this inner edge off, and I cut this really crappy on this edge. But the way these are going to have to go on, the way I want them to go on, is part is going to have to be attached to the body and part is going to have to be attached to the door. I'm probably going to put a split right down through here, or a line down through here, and this bottom part will be attached to the door, where the rest will be attached to the body. It's about the only way I can see to make this work. So yeah, they don't really fit the best, but we're gonna make do with what we got here. And there's still a lot of things I can do without tying up my lift forever. The rear hatch I can replace. I didn't even notice this dent back here. This thing, okay, yeah, no, this thing wasn't outside whenever the tree came down. So, but yeah, nice dents on top there. But I got a whole new hatch to put on, and I want to paint it. We got to scuff and paint this bumper piece. I can put it, well, no, I don't want to put it on if I'm pulling the motor. It'll just get in the way. But we can pull the rear bumper. We're going to have to patch it right here. We're going to do a little bit of body work right there. So there's a lot of stuff that I can do right now. Well, not right now. I got to go to work. But there's a lot of stuff I can do to this before we get to the motor work on it. And unfortunately, if you're watching this now, you will know that the Area 51 raid has already been over, and Cheek Clapper missed its opportunity. So if there's any cheeks left to clap, save one for the Cheek Clapper here. So sad.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Mrs. Wife here got her debit card stolen again. Not stolen, her numbers must have got stolen. She was Ubering in Las Vegas, and then some other people were Ubering in Las Vegas under her numbers.
Yeah, I treated them to like $50 worth of Ubering.
Stewie doesn't have that problem. Stewie, I'm not gonna have time to do anything to the Subaru today. Here is the plug I was telling you about that goes inside of the cylinder head on the Honda. I thought it was longer than this. So there might be enough room to get the original one out. The Egr valve is right there beside it. I think that's the Egr valve. I could be wrong, but there is a setup on there right beside it that sticks up. I'm just going to try to pry the old one out with a screwdriver and stick this one in. So it's still going to be a lot easier for me to remove that. The plug is right here. Let me show you. Look at all that fresh oil right there. So it is leaking pretty good, but I don't know. I'm going to try to pry it out of there without taking that off, but it's going to be a lot easier to do with it out. Now, honestly, I think that was very simple. There was just enough room to get past that. But I think that you could have just popped this out, put a new O-ring on it, and put it back in. My O-ring is dry and it's flattened out, so that's why it was leaking. I'm gonna spray the engine down, and I guess we'll see if it leaks again. So I drove this thing to work last night. I'm happy to report she's dry. As you can see, I had her all cleaned out in there. Well, here. Completely dry. So, it's looking pretty good. Hopefully, that was our oil consumption problem, but, you know, I'm being optimistic here. I don't believe it is. But, we will see in time. And so that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, go check out some of my other ones. Check out my merch. It's below the video or on the side, depending on what device you're on. And we'll see you on the next episode on Unwrapped.